What's up, guys? Showing off a build that I have for myself. This is one of the Troika dials, and if you are not familiar with the Troika dials, back in the I think early 2000s, Russia and China got together building some watches. And Russia did the dial, the movement, the crown, and then China did the case, the bezel, the caseback, and band on it. But not a lot of people liked them because they were not very waterproof, if waterproof at all. So I was able to find some dials. I found an abundance of these sub dials. I think I have 3 or 4 left. You might have seen the tank that I've done, the battleship that I've done and kept for myself, and a fighter plane. But I'd never made myself a sub. So here is the sub. So all these dials are freaking awesome. They are done in like a brushed and polished silver. These all have a date window on them, so you have to use a 2416B or what is it, a 2414 if you're doing a wind movement. Did a kind of like an anodized blue cerakoted case, 710 case. Have one of the Baikal decompression bezels on it with the light blue and orange. So going with that, we did light blue hand, the orange hand, and light blue seconds hand, PloProf style. Anchor engraved crown. This has a sapphire reflective glass large window exhibition caseback. One of my little signature Baikal rotors on here. And then this is on one of my super soft Italian white leathers. These are dyed leathers, so I get them in white. So did orange stitching. We have orange leather paint all the way around the outskirts of it, and it has a brushed pre-V buckle on it. And that is the build that I'm keeping for me. So bezel on this actually moves a little bit more than I'd like. It's still on there tight. It's not going to move unless like... it's pretty hard to do with one finger. Actually, I'm not yet being able to do it with one finger. Okay. Alright, so actually it isn't too terrible. The Cerakote makes it kind of stick on there a little bit more, but these bezels that they produced, sometimes the tolerances aren't on there. Sometimes the depth area of where you put in your tension ring is a little bit deeper, so you have less flat spots meeting. And with Cerakote, I can bend those out a little bit and hope for contact, but if I'm not getting the correct contact and I start digging into this with a knife, like this is abrasion resistant, but you can slice right into it, so I don't really go back. So I just try and make sure it's as tight as it can be in a one shot. And that was actually not too terrible. So automatic mechanical with, for those of you who, I don't do date wheels very often just because there's no quick date setting on these things. So you can wind it. That's just taking it, taking it right off the crown threads back. So winding it for 4 or 5 seconds, that mixed with your rotor movement should keep your time throughout the day. But it does have a 31-hour power reserve, and you can wind it up all day if you want, but 15 seconds or so of this. Now there's no quick date set, but I did fiddle with this earlier. There will advance. So since it's my watch, it's okay. So it's the 15th. Today is the 15th. If I wanted to advance this, now it's midnight on the 15th. You would go back, and when you get her, you can see this is going up a little bit, right? You can see it going up. It's going up higher, and then it drops back down right there, right? I normally just round it around, go ahead up to 8. And then when you take it back up, it advances. So you have to go back and forth. I do 8 to 12. If you ever have a watch with a 2416B that has this in here, and you are doing that quick date set, and you ever notice that you've advanced it and the date didn't change, it might have like clicked a little bit, but the date didn't change, I would advise going around 24 hours to advance it on the next one, then go back to your 8 to 12. Out of 3 or 4 of these builds where I've talked to the person, they said, yeah, it didn't advance, and then it wouldn't advance after that. You're like, something happens with the track in there, and if you do it again, it's definitely off the track. But it's like if you advance it around, it seems to realign things. But if you do it a second time, it is like, it doesn't matter how many times you do after that, it will stay in that same spot, and you have to pull everything apart and take that off. So just a little pro tip. That's my experience with it. That might not be everybody's experience with it, but just an FYI. And then the wife made me some matching beads to go with it. And granted, I don't need a box for it. I have my own, have my own big ass watch container for my builds. But just so you can see, there's a dial matching Troika Sub box. And then had I been sending this out, I would send it with watch cleaner, which is good on all glass and metal parts. So this watch has a hole. Leather conditioner, keep this strap perfectly soft. Some fine scratch remover, which is the same as Polywatch for this acrylic glass because it can be scratched. And if you do, you just put some, man, this needs Polywatch in here. That's empty. You just apply it in there and then buff it out with the included microfiber. So that's if I was shipping it to somebody, but I am not. I am keeping this. I did throw a bund on the back of it, but the way it flared out around the 710 case did not look ideal. Granted, it's a diver. So why is it on leather? And it's on leather because it looks freaking awesome together. But I guess I could always do a blue cerakoted SS band and do a sub on there as well. So I don't know. I thought it looked awesome together. And I like color. And it has that aplenty. So just showing it off a little bit. But if you want me to build you something custom and unique, especially a Troika dial, I think I have 4 more of these subs, and after that, they're gone. These were made like 20 years ago, and I don't know anybody that has these. The tank that I have, I've seen some pictures online of one of them that was sold at auction for like $400 years ago, the full watch, but I could not find one of those tank dials by itself. Same with all the helicopter options, the fighter jet. I found a fighter jet in somewhere in Italy. That's the one that I have. It was a full watch build. The regular stock watch itself. And I think I paid like $200 for that, just to strip it down because all I was using was the movement and the dial. So you can't really find these. I have people looking for them actively, and have heard 0 out of people for years. Like, we're talking 2+ years. I bought everything that was able to be found, and I have not heard of any since. So if you want a Troika Sub dial, let me know. We can do them all in silver. We can do a lot of stuff. When you have a silver dial, you can throw in that little bit of pop of color if you want something. So, but hope you like it. Like I said, if you want me to build you something custom and unique, reach out. I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe, because I put them up all the time. Thanks for hanging out, guys.